Thank you. We're going to go straight into the starting lineups. Starting with visiting team, the Grandview Pride and Overton, Florida, coached by Joe Thompson. Numbers to go, the junior, A.J. Giles. The junior, number 11, Micah Octave. The junior, number 4, Angelo Brown. The senior, number 12, Jalen Thompson. And the junior, number 23, Makai Bowles. Ladies and gentlemen, revisiting Grandview Pride. And now for your North Broward Eagles. As the Broward Pride coached by Casey Long, assisted by Griffin and Kenny Morrison. The senior number 11, Tom Denny. The junior number 23, Mikhail Ishmael. The sophomore number 25, Justin Hudson. The sophomore number 30, Maximus Fuentes. And the senior number 34, Brenna Sheva.
We are live from Coconut Creek, Florida. I'm Gabe Fenster, and welcome to the third regular season home game here at North Broward Prep as the Eagles take on the Grandview Prep Pride. First, starting for the Pride, number 0, A.J. Giles, number 11, Micah Octave, number 12, Jalen Thomason, number 23, Makai Bowles, and number 4, Pedro Brown. And starting for the Eagles, 34, Renos Jenna, 23, Mikhail Ashmore, 25, Justin Abson, 30, Maximus Fuentes, and of course, number 11, Dom Denny. Joining me on tonight's broadcast, all the way from Syracuse University, Sam Gelfand. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm doing great. I am extremely excited to be here for tonight's broadcast. It's been a long time since I've done a North Broward sport, let me tell you, but it feels like I'm right back home, where I'm meant to be, almost.
Oh, I'm not the only one to say this, but we are happy to have you back, Sam.
It is really great to be here. I think that this game, there's going to be two key storylines that we're going to have to watch for. The first is going to be the performance of Maximus Fuentes, who in the last game, the third game of the Rock Holiday Classic, fell a little short. 6 points, normally one of their highest scorers, all of them off of free throws. Meanwhile, Jalen Thomason of the Grandview Prep Pride, a former North Broward player. And here we go. Abson gets a tip-off for North Broward, but it looks like it's going to be Micah Octave who gets a handle on it for the Grandview Prep Pride. Passes it over to Pedro Brown, number 4. Back to Octave at the top of the key. Back to Brown. Brown calling a play currently on the right side of your screen. Octave controls it again. North Broward playing a 3-2 defense. Octave drives, and it falls just a little bit short.
And the ball sails out of bounds, and it remains Pride ball.
So it's going to come down to the performance of one of North Broward's normal top scorers, Maximus Fuentes. And additionally, we're going to have to see if Jalen Thomason remains familiar with the North Broward offense and defense that he was once a part of.
And as Friga remains on the bench with an injured ankle, North Broward hopes to stay as a great team as they are. Without him, he's a big impact on the floor.
The three-pointer by Octave just barely rattles out. Abson with the rebound. Abson leading this team with an incredible 11.7 rebounds per game. That is a force.
Well, standing at 6'7", sophomore Justin Abson is huge in the paint for North Broward. It's his second year here, and he's definitely made an impact here for the Eagles.
Now Renash Jenna, the longest tenured member of North Broward, getting the start today as Abson floats out. It's Ashmore from afar. It's no good. The ball goes off of Jenna's hands and over to Octave. Octave passes over to A.J. Giles, earning starting opportunities as well. Brown tries to drive, finds 23 on the other side. Mackay Bowles' shot goes short. Abson with another rebound. No one there for Ashmore. Someone is. It's Micah Octave eventually, and it goes out of bounds.
Great read there by Abson. Not strong enough as the ball is stolen and sails out of bounds, although it remains Eagles' ball.
And minute and a half into this game, and there's still no score. How often do you see that? I stand corrected. Ashmore brings it down.
That's the Eagles' first field goal of the game, and Ashmore's first field goal. He is 1 for 1 in the game so far.
Pedro Brown a little less than that as his shot ricochets off the basket. He's controlling from around half court now, hands it off to Giles. The pass nearly goes wild. Octave there to save it before it goes out of bounds. Currently guarded by Fuentes. Jukes around and drives to the lane. The layup's good.
And that's the Prod's first field goal of the game.
So now Tom Tenney controls over to Jenna near the paint. Couple people there. Pedro Brown just snatches it out of his hand, says, "Gimme that." It's over to Octave now. 5:40 remaining. We're all tied up at 2. North Broward's bench coming alive with chance of defense as 23 drives, Bowles. It goes off. Jenna with a rebound. Octave. Ball gets knocked out of his hands. A whistle's blown.
Ball is deflected off of there by the Pride. Great read there by Notch Jenna as he gets aggressive down in the paint, and a foul is called.
Renash Jenna, a lot to prove right now. Not been a regular starter. He's been on the team longer than anyone else. As a first free throw for number 11, Micah Octave, goes through the net.
And the second one is Bottoms. 2 for 2 from the line there.
So now Tom Tenney controls from the top of the paint. Over to Fuentes, back to Tenney. Finds Abson in the middle. Ashmore from nowhere, it just barely rolls off the rim.
Close basket there, Sam. Ball rolls around the rim, and Ashmore's 1 for 2 in the game.
You gotta feel for him when that happens, you know, you're so close.
It was a great read there by Abson as you saw Ashmore cutting, not able to convert there.
A block from Ashmore as now Grandview has to dump it back outside of the three-point line. Pedro Brown, the little floater to Thomason. Thomason guarded by Jenna, gets a shot off, it's no good. Ashmore with a rebound, hands it to Tenney.
It's a great attempt there by the hook shot, not able to go down.
Renash Jenna proving why he got the starting spot today. Now Tom Tenney, the point guard for North Broward, over to Fuentes. Absent. Ashmore from the corner, no good. Fuentes there for the rebound, tries to drive again, blocked by Bowles. And this time it is Octave who comes down. Bowles tries to drive, a block from Absent and Tenney. 4:11 remaining now.
Denny finds Fuentes in the corner, a pump fake drive by Fuentes, and a foul is called on the shot, which will send Fuentes to the line shooting 2.
Maximus Fuentes currently leading the North Broward Eagles in free throw percentage, 800 at the line.
That's pretty impressive, but for a shooter himself, I'm not surprised.
Now, very long time viewers of North Broward broadcasts will know, at least if you go back to 2014-15, that we will be harping on free throws during this game, because if you do not make your free throws, what are you going to make?
And Fuentes misses the first free throw there.
You see?
And
second one successful. So now it's Octave. On the outside, over to Bulls. Bulls looking for an option, finds one in Browns. From downtown, it's no good. Absent with a rebound. Gives it over to Denny on the right side of your screen. 3:45 remaining in the first quarter. Low fouls so far, only one apiece from each team. Ashmore back over to Denny. 2-3 zone defense employed by the Grandview Prep Pride right now. Denny taking advantage of the fact that there is no shot clock in Florida high school basketball. Fuentes on the right side now, double teamed, back over to Denny, to Ashmore, across the court to Fuentes.
Alley-oop attempt to Ashmore, sails out of bounds.
Little over his head, overestimated it. Maybe if he was absent there, he would have had the hops to get it.
I agree, but let me tell you, Ashmore can jump. And he may not be as tall as Abson, but he can definitely jump higher.
Man, I wish I had his vertical on my stat sheet right here, right now.
Don't we all?
Someone get on that as Micah Octave gives it over to Bowles. Back to Pedro Brown to Octave. Over to number 22, Nate Sasser, the freshman, now in this game. Normally a starter, loses control of the ball, but picks it up. Brown from downtown. It's good. So now Denny controls. Tell me, you've been following this North Broward team a little longer than I have. What do you like about this squad?
Well, they're a very great team. They're definitely improved from last year, adding Ashmore and Frigo, who's currently injured, on the bench. Once he will come back, he will definitely be an impact on the court. But Ashmore, he is an aggressive player. Let me tell you, this guy can fly. He can shoot, he can drive, he is a player. You don't usually see him that much, but he is a great player. He will be going places.
And speaking of aggression, Mackay Bowles with a layup. Now Denny over to Tyler Field, who's come into this game for North Broward. Field on the corner, penetrates two different defenders, but the shot is wild. Pedro Brown fights for it, a whistle's blown.
And you were telling me that Renash Jenna is the longest player to play on North Broward so far. He's played here 4 years. How much has he improved since his freshman year at North Broward?
Well, we'll get to that in a moment as a timeout is taken on the court. I think it's a 30. Didn't quite get to see what the referee said. Renash Jenna has really had a lot to prove. Since he was when he was a freshman, he was getting regular starts. He actually put on a lot of weight in that time to make himself a more solid player. But at the same time, first Jalen Thomason comes in, then Justin Abson. They kind of take his spot a little bit. Normally the starting center, now he finds himself on the bench. So here's a player with a lot to prove and a lot of determination accompanying it.
Well, Renash Jenna, who also plays football, he actually committed to Lehigh University recently. As a football player, you need to really go to the gym very often and work on your strengthening, so that will affect his play on the court, aggressive-wise, down in the paint, especially for a big man like him.
The pass from Grandview deflected by Ashmore. A whistle is blown. Fans are not happy about it. I think they said that was a travel. He scooched his foot a little bit. So now it's going to be a Pride ball. Nate Sasser will bring it in. Ashmore guarding Sasser. Sasser finds Brown over to Octave, brings it over to Bowles. Bowles near the net, the layup's good.
And great move there as Tyler Fields goes down looking for a charge, not getting it, layup converted. And the Pride lead with 11-3 with 1 minute 24 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Not the start that you wanted if you were North Broward. That's why I think they brought Jenna out, is to kind of counter some of this height. As the layup from Octave is no good. It's a little bit of a scramble underneath the net. North Broward comes up with it. Fuentes to no one there. Ashmore hoping for an alley-oop, but didn't jump in time. So now Dom Denny drives into the key. Passes out to Fuentes on the outside. Bounce pass to Ashmore. No one there from the county line is no good. Overshoots the net.
And I was not really expecting the Eagles to have a fight here as the Pride come in 10-3. Great team. Eagles 9-5.
Now, you might think that, but at the Rock Holiday Classic tournament just hosted here over the weekend, North Broward and Grandview Prep were in the same tournament, the same bracket, and North Broward did advance farther than
right?
Grandview Prep. So there is a fighting chance, there always is. As Ryan Negri got a little bit antsy and tried to deflect the pass, got his hands on Micah Octave.
You mind if I ask, who won the Rock Holiday Classic?
You're not going to like the answer. It was Pinecrest, beating North Broward in the final game. North Broward, the gold bracket runners-up. The winners in the silver bracket, the Madison Southern Eagles, all the way from Berea, Kentucky.
Wow.
So now Denny brings it past half court, 35 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Fuentes finds Ashmore, finds Negri on the outside, going for three, bounces off. Rebound by Pedro Brown for the Pride. Brown finds 34 on the outside, Wyatt Smith.
Smith sails out of bounds there. I think I saw a travel there, but no reaction from the fans or the refs.
Well, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be a North Broward ball. So looking for Octave, miscalculated the pass, thought he was somewhere where he wasn't. Seeing ghosts, if you will.
And 18 seconds remain in the first quarter. I believe Dom Denny will wait for the last shot here. Let's see what happens.
11 seconds left as number 11 controls. 2-3 zone defense still prepared by the Pride. Over to Negri. Pass is intercepted by A.J. Giles. Octave with no one there goes for a layup. Negri gets the foul, gets a hand on him as he goes vertical.
And you never like to see a foul called on the last second shot.
No, but I respect Negri, who is a sophomore. Only played in 9 of the 14 or 15 games of the season so far. Trying to get the foul, hopefully counting on the fact that Octave may have a lower free throw percentage, although he sinks the first.
And the first free throw is good.
So it's 12-3 now, the Pride lead over your North Broward Eagles.
And the second one is also good. And now conclude the first quarter, and as you said, not the start we were looking for. Hopefully we get a better outcome in the second quarter.
As the cheerleaders come out to play for North Broward, 13-3 is not the kind of start you usually want in any sport.
Now, I've definitely seen better from the Eagles, but again, this is a tough team. I was not expecting a huge lead. I wasn't expecting a deficit like this, though, in the first quarter.
But North Broward, you can't forget, is a bit of a momentum-based team. They get a little streaky sometimes. It might not be coming out firing on all cylinders right now, but as soon as they fire up, they will stay fired up for at least 2 quarters, and that might give them the edge.
I can tell they're putting up a lot of three-point attempts. Not a lot of them are dropping, clearly, but as soon as a few go down, I like to see North Broward go off.
So it's Braden Schleifer who will bring it in for North Broward to Dom Denny, as the second quarter is now underway. Doesn't say so on the scoreboard, but it does say on your scoreboard at home.
And a new improvement to our broadcast as a graphic with the scoreboard.
We do appreciate you joining us for this game of North Broward basketball live on YouTube as Justin Abson goes for a shot, but it's no good. Rebound grabbed by Nate Sasser. Just a freshman, he's got a lot of vertical. Currently guarded by Ashmore, tries to get past him. Jump shot is no good. Ashmore with the rebound. That ricocheted all the way back to the free throw line. Now Denny in control. 2-3 zone still employed. Denny from downtown is no good. Rebound grabbed by Micah Octave, cleaning the slate.
And the three-pointers are just not falling for the Eagles. Not sure what's going on, but soon, hopefully, they will be falling.
A.J. Giles, the ball knocked out of his hands. I thought that was a travel anyway, but, you know.
That was a great play there by Denny.
30-second timeout now taken on the court. Coach Casey Wallop clearly not happy with his North Broward squad right now.
And I sure would not be if I were him.
Most coaches aren't. You ever notice that?
You know what? Coach Casey plays a different type of coaching. I mean, for a team that's down 10 points in the second quarter, I don't blame him for being upset, but I do know what you're saying when you say that coaches don't usually act like this. I
want to start a charity. I've been saying this for years. We should raise some money so that coaches can get megaphones so they don't blow out their voices at the end of every game.
I like where you're coming from, Sam.
And North Broward's going to be coming from underneath the camera. Now here we go. Dom Denny bringing it past half court for the Eagles. Hoping to soar past the Grandview Prep Pride in this game. Denny at the top of the key, gets around Giles. Jumper's good.
And it's about time the Eagles make a field goal. And that's the first field goal of the quarter.
Ball goes over to Giles. Pass tip by Abson. Jalen Thomason all alone at the net. Ashmore comes out of nowhere. Mikhail Ashmore showing that he's just as comfortable playing center, although he is listed as a guard and a forward.
Schleifer in the corner, three-pointer is off. And the ball is sailed out of bounds. It seemed to be last off of the Eagles.
Schleifer actually owns the best three-point percentage on North Broward with .460 from beyond the arc. Very respectable number. As we all know, three-pointers becoming more and more important in the game of basketball in the past 5 years or so.
The foul is going to be called on Denny.
So it'll be a Grandview Prep ball. David Udine passes into A.J. Giles. If there's one weakness to both of these teams, I'd say it might have to be the depth of the roster. Both teams have a very strong starting five, but once you get past that, not always a lot of production.
You know, I beg to differ. Right now, yes, the depths are a bit off, but as I was saying, Frigo is on the bench right now. Once he comes back, our six-man will be great, bench will be great, starting lineup right now is great.
Speaking of great, Maximus Fuentes with a beauty from three.
That is Fuentes' first three-pointer of the game. And the Pride lead 13-8 with 5 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Jalen Thomason under heavy coverage, no good. Denny tries to get a hand on it, can't before it goes out of bounds. 13-8. What were we saying about North Broward and momentum? They're finding a little bit of a rhythm now.
They're a team that once they get one basket, they just keep coming. And then with that, the defense is also great. So it's kind of like a package. Once the offense comes, the defense comes.
Ball dribbles out of bounds. It should be a North Broward ball now. Or perhaps it goes back to Grandview Prep. Indeed it does. A.J. Giles for three. No one there, but no basket either. Maximus Fuentes with a rebound. Looking to show that he still has it after a rocky performance last game.
And Denny's pass communication there as Denny sails the ball out of bounds looking for Abson.
Goes to no one in particular though, so it'll be Micah Octave bringing it in. A.J. Giles now. As the ball sails it to Pedro Brown. Octave over to Bowles. Giles, Bowles. Gonna try his hand. And that's why you don't go 3 against 1.
Especially on Abson.
4:46 remaining in the second quarter now. Ball goes over
back here.
Schleifer back to Denny. A 2-1-2 defense now employed by the Pride. Denny doesn't need it.
And just like that, the Eagle deficit is trimmed to a 2 points.
Dom Denny sees your defense. Dom Denny doesn't care. Ball goes out.
You saw over there, but Fuentes was wide open at the wing, but Denny said no, double team, no problem for him.
A 393-point percentage, 5'10 in general for Dom Denny is number 23, Mackay Bowles, 6'1. So 4 minutes remaining now. It's 15-11. North Broward starting to get on just a little bit of a roll. Maximus Fuentes playing point guard right now. Denny drives, jumpers, a fake, puts it down! There's number 25, Justin Abson.
Put it down, Justin Abson. Getting it down in the paint. Huge dunk.
Pedro Brown with a little bit of a floater as a response. The pass to Abson deflected by Micah Octave. Double team, the layup, no good. Denny passes it over to Schleifer midair. Schleifer over to Fuentes. One person there, shots blocked. It's Mackay Balls with the rebound. Micah Octave
there did not get it as Fuentes puts it up, gets blocked. And the field goal by the Pride is good.
So now Dom Denny is going to slow things down. The fast break was nice while it lasted, but it didn't bring the kind of results they were hoping for.
Definitely a greater second quarter here.
19-13, Denny looking for a way in. Thinks he finds Schleifer. Schleifer with a jumper. On the other side is Pedro Brown picking up the rebound. Now Micah Octave slowing things down. 2:40 remains. Brown from the corner for three. It's short. Schleifer with a rebound over to Denny. Braden Schleifer is really showing to be a great utility player here.
The three-pointer is off, and I agree with you, Sam. Schleifer, not the biggest one out there, but definitely making an impact there on the court.
Octave didn't want to shoot on Abson. Maximus Fuentes in traffic. Emphatic block by Micah Octave. Denny now driving, finds his way underneath the basket. Ashmore from afar sinks it.
And this is the Eagles I like to see. 3-point lead by the Pride as 1 minute 55 seconds remain in the second quarter. Not sure what Casey Woodbeck talked about with the team, but it definitely worked.
It certainly seemed to help. That's the job of a head coach, and that's why Wallop has been brought back year after year for this North Broward squad. 1:46 remaining now. If there's a story to be told, it's also on fouls. North Broward 5 fouls so far in this game. Grandview Prep only 1.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. They're definitely getting aggressive, not getting the calls they want. But I'm not upset with the Eagles' defense.
So Justin Abson now, mostly been kept out of the key by the Pride. Shot on the run is no good from Schleifer. And it's Nate Sasser who comes down with the rebound. Sasser now trying to get into the key. Field there to guard, so's Abson. The shot is no good from Bowles. Renash Jenna with a rebound. Dom Denny now brings it past to the other side. Schleifer passes to Field. Field goes back. It's Schleifer.
It is no good as it sails out of bounds over the basket.
Blame it on the wind. I'm going to blame it on the wind, either way. A.J. Giles will bring it in. 1 minute remains in the second quarter of this game. Ashmore, no one there, intercepted. Little spin move, and brings it home.
Great play there by Ashmore. Sees the ball, reads the offense, sold away, great spin move, and the layup is good.
19-18, this is becoming a close game. As Sasser drives, it's no good. Second shot deflected by Abson.
Yeah, the Eagles defense got really lucky there as they let him go right into the paint.
Denny with a little crossover. Triple team, finds Ashmore wide open. From the county line, it's good. North Broward takes the lead.
And just like that, the Eagles have the lead with 18 seconds remaining in this first half. Eagles have a 2-point lead over Pride.
Mikael Ashmore has been on fire in this first half as Abson has the ball. Whistles blown and it's North Broward possession.
Let me tell you, this place is rocking. Eagles fans are going crazy.
7.3 seconds to do some damage. It's 21-19. Like all sports, it's about momentum, and I think the pendulum has swung to the side of the Eagles.
And Schleifer comes right back in for the Eagles as Jenna comes out.
Dom Denny now controls the ball, 4 seconds. Gets past both defenders. Goes out of bounds as it tries to pass to Ashmore. That is halftime.
Great second quarter there for the Eagles, coming back from a 3-11 point game, now 21-19.
gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here on this broadcast of North Broward basketball. We'll be right back in about 8 minutes with the start of the second half. Sam Gelfand and Gabe Fenster, thank you very much for sticking around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Global Wellness Center here in Coconut Creek, Florida. Sam Gelfand and Gabe Fenster for North Broward basketball. We are now underway in the third quarter as they take on the Grandview Prep Pride. A rocky start in the first quarter, a much better one in the second, and now North Broward has come out to play. So is Pedro Brown and Jalen Thomason, but Justin Abson says, no thank you, I disagree. Now it's going to be Braden Schleifer over to Dom Denny. Denny, the point guard. It does not go in, but how instrumental has he been to this North Broward attack in this game, not only in this game, but this whole season?
Denny is a star player. When you think of North Broward Eagles, you think of Dom Denny. He is the star of this team. He is the team himself. I mean, there's a graphic outside in the hallways, and he is the face of that graphic for a reason.
He's on the posters. As Denny now controlling over to Maximus Fuentes, who's hoping to warm up again and put his face next to him. Abson draws a foul. It's going to be on Jalen Thomason, the former North Broward Eagle.
This is Abson's first trip to the line.
Jalen Thomason standing somewhere around 6'9".
And for a big man, it's pretty impressive. His free throw percentage shooting at 7-10 on the season. And the first one is good.
And there's the first of two for Abson. Abson averaging 14.3 points per game, most of them near the basket, but he can shoot from afar as well. Misses the second, though. Airmailed with first-class postage. So here comes A.J. Giles bringing it down past half court, guarded by Schleifer. Thomason sets a pick. Now it's Bowles, back to Giles, over to Octave. Close is Thomason. Thomason and Abson fighting, and the shot isn't good, so I guess Thomason comes up with it. North Broward keeps it in bounds. Fuentes has the ball, gives it over to Ashmore, crossing half court in the corner. Pass is tipped, but Denny comes up with it, double teamed. And rightfully so, ball gets loose. Pedro Brown comes over with it.
Denny was able to split through the defense there. Not the outcome he was looking for as the ball stolen away by the Pride.
So Thomason over to Octave from downtown. It's good.
That is the Pride's first field goal of the game, is coming behind the arc.
We're all tied up at 22 now as there are 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Fuentes over to Ashmore, to Abson, pump fake, gets it off the glass.
That is an easy layup for Abson. He does that on a daily. I see him in the gym practicing that exact move, so he has that down to a master.
A.J. Giles drives and brings down a layup of his own. Pride finding an answer. So Maximus Fuentes now over to Ashmore with a jumper. It's off the rim. Catching a little bit too much metal is now Micah Octave, brings it past the letters. Dodging and weaving, but Ashmore is just too much for him to handle. Hands it over to Dom Denny. All tied up at 24, 5 minutes remaining now. Pass goes off the fingers of Schleifer. It's Makai Bowles who comes down with it over to Octave.
And earlier in this matchup, I mentioned that this game would not be close, but I'm happy to say that I jinxed myself. It is a tie game here in the third quarter.
You're using the announcer's curse for good.
No complaints there.
4:56 on the clock right now, as Jalen Thomason will go to the line. He's got two. I gotta say, my favorite addition to the Global Wellness Center since I've come back has been this theater section underneath the basket. These guys have been great.
Well, they like to consider themselves the #1 student section in the nation.
It's a bold claim. I'll put it that way. Thomason missed his first, the second one he sinks.
I'll give them that. Their energy is through the roof.
So now Schleifer over to Fuentes from the top of the key. No one there. A beauty!
always cash for Maximus Fuentes there. Behind the arc, in the center key, is always money for him.
Maximus Fuentes, the most money name, I think, of anyone on either roster, with a money shot there. As now, Octave shoots and gets it from the same place, but not quite as pretty.
He was able to fight off the arm in his face there. Not sure how he did that. Great defense there by Denny.
From the free throw line, Ashmore is good.
And the lead changes just keep going back and forth here.
So it's turning into a slugfest here, 29-28. They're trading blows like two heavyweight boxers, these two teams, as a foul is drawn.
That's a good way to put it, Sam.
You ever watch boxing?
All the time.
Then you know just as well as I do that it's about going the distance. Do you think that North Broward has the stamina and the depth of the roster to go the distance in a game like this?
I believe they do. They work it slow coming off the offense, and once it goes into the game, they get a little faster. As you can see here, they started off slow in the first quarter and able to gain that energy in the second half.
So they're the Floyd Mayweather of Florida high school basketball, essentially. As Dom Denny brings it down with thunder. It is 32-28. North Broward leads over the Grandview Prep Pride as number 4, Pedro Brown, dumps it out to Sasser. Sasser with the jumper. A long two is no good. Brown there with the rebound. Sasser driving. He's going to throw it out to number 10, Drew Cohen on the outside. Sasser drives. The one-handed shot's good.
Great way fighting out of Abson's defense there, getting the shot up and through the hoop it goes.
So now Dom Denny will calm things down, give North Broward some time to recollect, recombobulate as Justin Abson on the inside gives it over to Denny from downtown. It's good!
Great ball movement there by the Eagles, moving it fast from one player to another, to Denny, and bang!
So now Micah Octave controlling over to Pedro Brown. Finds Bowles, double teamed. Nothing doing as Dom Denny comes down with the rebound. Denny now triple team, bounce pass over to Schleifer on the outside, draws the foul. Sometimes it's not about connecting yourself, it's about forcing the other team to mess up. There's a quick substitution, Ryan Negri coming on for Braden Schleifer. Denny takes it in, Fuentes. Negri now back to Denny. Finds Ashmore. Little jumper from the corner is off the metal. Fuentes ties up but can't come down with it. It's Nate Sasser.
No, there was great aggression there by Fuentes, being triple teamed there. I'm surprised he got the second rebound there. He is tall. He is a guard. He's a shooter. He is 6'3", so I'm not surprised he got that. But he has very great aggressiveness down in the paint, especially.
Maximus Fuentes called on a push. He's not happy about that as Sasser now tries to drive. Shooting foul on Justin Abson.
Close to an and one there, but only 2 from the line here.
Abson, by the way, leading the North Broward team with an amazing 2.4 blocks per game.
Yeah, that is not surprising. 6'7". I expect a little bit over 2 blocks a game.
Especially at the high school level, though, that is an amazing stat as Sasser sinks his first. The second one is good as well.
Yeah, definitely at the high school level, 2 blocks a game is pretty impressive.
So now Dom Denny passes over to Negri. Pass intercepted by Octave. Guarded by Denny. Passes it over to Giles, whose layup connects.
And the Eagles' defense seems to be slowly falling apart here.
Eagles still lead 35-34 as Negri bounces it over to Abson underneath the key. Out to Ashmore. Decides against a three-pointer. Pass is tipped by Octave. The Pride take possession of it. Pedro Brown from the left side. The layup rolls in.
And the Eagles' lead is gone just like that. And a timeout is called here by the Eagles. Gonna talk it over here. Put a little magic as Warbeck did in the second quarter. Hopefully the same outcome can happen here.
So North Broward now down 36-35. What do you think North Broward has to do in order to regain the lead and keep it in this game?
Well, they've caused many turnovers this half, and the defense has not been great. 2 turnovers in the past 30 seconds itself. They're letting the offense drive to the paint. That can't happen. Absence not being as aggressive.
Absent has the ability to play aggressively, though. Let's not take that away from him. Almost like a wild hog sometimes. Talk about breaking ankles.
I do expect more from Absent, as we were just talking about. 2.7 blocks a game. That takes aggressiveness right there. I want to see that happen here, as the Eagles are down by 1 with 59 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
And I want to see more Yoenis Cespedes references. So it looks like it's going to be Braden Schleifer for North Broward, who will pass it into Dom Denny. 59.4 seconds remaining in the third quarter, down 36-35. Sam Gelfand and Gabe Fenster here for North Broward. Thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast live on YouTube. Renash Jenna over to Schleifer. 45 seconds. Passes to Denny. Finds Fuentes on the outside from the corner. No good. Thank you for being a friend.
Ashmore able to get that offensive rebound, put it right back up over the tall defender.
That's what friends are for, as the shot by Nate Sasser goes out of bounds. It's 37-36, 23 seconds remaining. North Broward ball. North Broward playing a lot more cohesively in this game.
Yes, I agree, and I hope that the Eagles keep this lead as the third quarter concludes. 17 seconds remain.
One thing Coach Casey Wallop has always been good at is instilling a sense of brotherhood in these North Broward squads as the ball goes out of bounds with 10 seconds remaining.
Looks like sloppy passing here.
So Maximus Fuentes will take it in. 10 seconds looking for an open man. Finds one in Schleifer. Tries to pass it back to Fuentes. Octave goes underneath the net. 2 seconds. Sasser's shot is no good. Denny from all the way down. Impressive length, but no.
And the Eagles keep the lead at 1 as the third quarter concludes. Stick with us as fourth quarter basketball will come shortly.
So 1 quarter remains here at the Global Wellness Center in Coconut Creek, Florida. Thank you so much for joining us on this YouTube broadcast of North Broward basketball. Sam Gelfand and Gabe Fenster. Once again, in case they're just tuning in, what have they missed so far in this game?
Well, the Eagles started off slow in the first quarter with 3 points, allowing 11 points by the Pride, and they just came back firing as the game proceeds. I'm not sure what Casey Warbeck told them, but it's definitely has helped. They've caused a lot of turnovers this game, which will definitely have to be fixed in the remainder of the game.
But there's still 8 minutes to go in this game, and it'll be North Broward who starts it off. Maximus Fuentes will be passing it in. Looks like his target might be Dom Denny. Indeed he does, all the way on the other side of the court. We're underway in the fourth quarter. Denny now taking it in. Bounce pass to Fuentes. Pass to no one in particular. In fact, pass was more to someone in a green shirt in the stands. Silly, that's not the North Broward colors.
I'm not sure, but is he playing on this team?
I don't think so. At least they're still in warm-up gear.
All right, I'm just making sure.
Abson comes down with the rebound. Passes to Denny. Double team jumper. No good. It's Octave with a rebound. Now Octave.
And if the jumpers don't fall here in the fourth quarter, I'm not sure what's going to happen here for the Eagles.
As Sasser's three-pointer falls, it's 39-37.
And the Eagles' lead is, just like that, disappear.
Denny with a no-look pass to Abson goes off his hands, deflected by the Pride. Sasser drives, one-handed layups, no good. Abson nearly deflected it in himself, but Dom Denny comes up with it after a little bit of a scramble. His layup connects.
And with that layup, Denny ties the game. It's a great double clutch layup there by Denny.
We're all tied up at 39 apiece. 6:45 remaining. No one there for Mackay Bulls. Three-pointers off the mark, it's right. So now Octave accidentally passes right to Justin Abson, who gives it back to Denny in control.
This game looks like it's going to come down to the last possession.
It might be one of those. You know, when I was here a year or two ago, we played a game against St. Andrews that went into quadruple overtime.
Is that right?
This could be one of those.
Well, I'm here, and I'm ready to do some triple overtime basketball.
I'm not going anywhere. And neither is Dom Denny as he passes it to Maximus Fuentes. Double team trying to penetrate, switches up hands of dribbling. Little shot, no good, but Abson is there to pick up the pace.
Abson trying to get a putback dunk there. Tipped off his fingertips, and it still works. Goes in the basket.
Under 6 minutes to play now in this game. Pedro Brown over to Octave. The jumper is no good. Ashmore now comes down and gives it to Denny, the point guard. All reliable for North Broward, if you will. Denny double team, gets it to Fuentes. Seemed a little hesitant so far in this game as Denny gets the handle on the ball. Tries to drive himself, finds an open lane. The layup's good.
And that raises the Eagles' lead to 4 with 5 minutes 21 seconds remaining in the second half.
Pedro Brown with a little bit of a floater, no good. Abson with a rebound and saves it from going out of bounds. Gives it to Fuentes. Fuentes now over to Denny from the corner. Bounces off, rebound by Brown. Octave with the ball, 5 minutes to play.
And Denny not shooting the greatest from behind the arc in the season. He's averaging a .390 percentage from the three-point line.
Well, you also have to remember that Grandview Prep coming in with quite the height advantage. Not saying North Broward doesn't have people like Ashmore and Abson, but just by the sheer numbers of it, someone like Dom Denny, who's only 5'11", might have more difficulty penetrating the key as there's a timeout called on the court.
Oh yes, I agree. They're definitely playing tighter defense on Denny, which is not a surprise to me, as well as Ashmore, two key players on this team.
So North Broward leads 43-39 right now. 4:34 remaining in the game. What does North Broward have to do to finish this one off strong?
Well, like I mentioned before, the turnovers have to stop. They've caused a lot of turnovers in this game so far, and they've gotten a lot of driving to the basket for the Pride. And that can't happen if the Eagles want to keep the lead. It's that simple.
According to Max Preps, North Broward is above the national average in turnovers. According to Max Preps, North Broward also the number 21st team in South Florida. So they're certainly a talented squad. Currently in third in the Palm District, though. Sorry, tied for third, fourth with Pinecrest. Braden Schleifer passes it in. No one there for Fuentes, but Pedro Brown comes out of nowhere.
And Fuentes thought he had an easy layup there, but out of nowhere, the ball is swatted away.
I thought he had an easy one too. As Brown
just, dumped that right in, but
no one there for Denny.
And no
He gets
there on the layup.
Layup by number 11, Dom Denny. Nate Sasser shut off his hops though, slapping the glass. 4 minutes to go. Sasser controls beyond the three-point line, gives it to Octave.
When Denny drives to the basket, it is hard to block it. He's a double clutch.
There's going to be another timeout called. 45-41 with 3:52 remaining in this game.
This game is getting more nerve-wracking as it proceeds. I'm nervous myself. What about you, Sam?
A little bit, gotta admit.
I definitely did not expect a lead in the fourth quarter by the Eagles.
It's a pleasant surprise.
It sure is, and I'm not complaining at all.
The Grandview Prep Pride with a record of 10-3, North Broward with a record of 9-5. North Broward also with a strength of schedule rating of 8.4, which is considered high. So when you consider that, and you consider the 9-5 record, really North Broward a very talented squad.
If this were college basketball, I believe they'd be ranked.
Denny with a beautiful layup, and Pedro Brown swatted it away like a fly. Octave now over to Giles, using Pedro Brown's height for passing. Octave with a little floater, it's good.
And the game is cut down to 2 points with that layup.
So now it's Mikhail Ashmore who controls. Justin Abson gets it in. Basketball number 25, Justin Abson.
Looking for a charge there, not getting it. 2 points for Abson.
47-43. As A.J. Giles sets up from afar and sinks it.
This guy is a dead eye from behind the arc. He can't miss.
Giles having himself a game. As Schleifer passes it over to Denny, triple teamed. Ashmore, you can see the pain on his face as the ball goes through his hands.
Another turnover by the Eagles. This is what I'm saying. This needs to stop.
North Broward with a lot of turnovers in this game as well as on the season, holding a 1-point lead, 47-46.
With the amount of turnovers the Eagles have caused, I'm surprised they even have a lead.
They don't anymore. 48-47 as Schleifer decides against driving, gives it to Abson. Fuentes underneath the net, gets it!
Finally, Fuentes able to get the layup without being swatted at the rim.
49-48 as we go towards the 2-minute warning. A timeout is called by the Grandview Prep Pride. 49-48, 2:12 remaining.
This game is going back and forth. The lead changes are out of control. And it's not just the fourth quarter, it's the whole second half.
It's a good thing that these scoreboards aren't manual, because if someone had to be up there with a ladder changing it, they would not be happy.
This isn't classic baseball now. The technology nowadays, you can do anything from a distance.
Look at what we're doing right now, bringing this game to you live on YouTube. Sam Gelfand and Gabe Fenster very happy to be doing so. So I've got to choose the next thing to play because I'm also doing PA. They're actually doing it. I love it. They're actually doing it. They never do it. But then they never keep it up. That's the problem.
Well, let me tell you, the student section is something else.
So number 23, Makai Bowles, gives it over to Giles, nearly drops it, guarded closely by Denny, who tips it out of his hands over to Ashmore. Denny draws the shooting foul.
And come support the Eagles this Friday as they take on Oxbridge Academy. That is MK Ashmore and Frigo's ex-team. So that will be a competition, if you ask me.
Should be a good one. Oxbridge Academy currently with a record of 1-11. It will be one of the very few district games. As Denny sinks his first.
For the Eagles.
North Broward only has 4 district matchups this entire season. This is going to be number 3 on Friday.
And they currently have 1 loss against the district team this season, although 1 win.
So hopefully you'll see us there at 7 o'clock for that as Denny sinks both free throws.
It's a 3-point game. Eagles lead 51-48 with 1 minute 53 seconds remaining in the game.
The floater by Sasser's no good. Pedro Brown pulls it down and puts it right back up for 2. So now Ashmore gives it over to Schleifer.
Another turnover there. It's getting out of control, Sam.
Well, it'll be out of control once North Broward is not in the lead. They're still up 51-50.
I do not know how the Eagles have maintained a lead with the amount of turnovers in this game.
Because the offensive attack has been more than enough to make up for it. You know, they say defense is the key to winning, but if you're not scoring, then there's no point to having a defense because then you're just at 0-0.
Right. I mean, you got to score. Offense is definitely a huge key. Defense is enormous when it comes to basketball, but offense does count.
Unfortunately, Micah Octave makes his first, but not the second, so we're tied up at 51 with 1:24 left. Ashmore over to Denny. Denny to Abson. Abson tries to go to Fuentes. Instead, it's intercepted. No one there for Sasser, who lays it up.
And the Pride take the lead with that layup. Only 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining in the game.
So it's 53-51. It's been a nail-biter since the second quarter.
I'm very nervous myself right now. As the game comes to an end, I'm very scared. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen here. I mean,
so how do you think that the players feel in that case?
Oh, they're definitely more nervous than me, but they need to be confident here. Just like a last at-bat of the game with 2 outs in the World Series. You got to be confident at the plate. You got to be confident here.
I'm sorry, but did you just compare this game to the Game 7 of the World Series?
I'm just comparing confidence-wise and towards the plate. I'm not saying basketball is baseball, but when it comes to it, it's very similar.
Fair enough. So 53-51. Grandview Prep up over North Broward. Regardless of the result at the end of this game, it's been a tight one, it's been a close one, and North Broward has played their heart out better than at least you and I think many of us thought that they might. As Abson now controls the ball, gives it over to Schleifer, can't get a hand on it. Octave takes it away and puts it down. North Broward puts it down, bringing it a little bit closer. 35 seconds remain.
Only a 1-point game here. This game is crazy.
Nate Sasser with the layup. It's no good. Justin Abson with the rebound. From Denny over to Ashmore. It's good!
Wow! What a layup by NK Ashmore. 1-point game here. 8 seconds remaining.
7, 6. And a timeout is called. That's no fun.
Wow, what a shot by Ashmore with the game coming to a close.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a World News update, I think it is important to take time out from this incredible game. Iran has just announced it has carried out a missile attack on an Iraqi military base where United States troops are currently stationed. Hate to be the one to break it to you.
Well, that sure does not lighten the mood here in basketball, but it's definitely important information. Thank you, Sam, for that.
Sometimes things are a little bit more important than basketball. Although it cannot be understated how important these final 6 seconds will be for this game.
I do want to mention for any sports fans out there that like more than just basketball, that the Red Sox were caught with cameras in the 2018 World Series season. So it's not just the Houston Astros.
Although Alex Cora is the bridging gap in between both of those teams, there is one consistent player.
And here we go with 6 seconds remaining in the game. Eagles up by 1.
Anyway, with World War III looming, 6 seconds left. Ball bobbled. The shot doesn't count for Mackay Bulls. 4.2 seconds left. North Broward up by 1 point. And there's another timeout taken.
Only 4 seconds remaining in the game. Eagles lead by 1. 4 seconds is definitely enough time for the Pride to receive the ball, get a good shot off. So no rush on the shot here. The only thing is, the ball has to go in.
Fair enough, just put the ball in. It's that simple. Just put the ball through the basket and you win the game.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Let's hope it doesn't, as Grandview Prep has the ball. 4 seconds. It's Sasser driving. Ball's out of his hands. The tip-in's no good. That one ends.
Are you kidding me?
57-56. There's 0.2 seconds on the clock, but the refs are talking it over. There might have been a foul.
I could be wrong, but it really did look like Abson tipped that ball in.
It almost looked like an own goal. As it looks like we're going to have a timeout on the court.
Only 0.2 seconds remaining in the game. I don't believe that's enough time to catch the ball and put it up, unless it's an alley-oop attempt. We'll see what happens.
You never know. They put 0.3 seconds on the clock, so they get an extra 0.1 second. But it's coming down to the wire. Both coaches shouting at their teams. Walled not happy on the sidelines.
Eagles are taking it from the other side of the court.
I don't think did the whistle just blow? I'm not sure if that counted. I think it did.
Well, that will do it. What a crazy ending to this game. Not the outcome we were looking for. But with the amount of turnovers the Eagles had, I'm surprised they even had a lead in the game. But what a crazy finish to the game. Not sure if it was Abson who tipped the ball in, or if it was the Pride, but either way, what a shot with 1 second remaining in the game.
A crazy ending, confusing at points, an amazing back and forth contest, and unfortunately North Broward was just barely not on the winning end.
It's going to be a very upsetting walk to the locker room.
But the good news is we'll be right back in Solon, North Broward with a chance for redemption on Friday against Oxbridge Academy. Join us here, same time, same place, well, slightly different time, 7 o'clock p.m. Both of us will be right here on the broadcast. You want to take the sign off, or should I?
Let's do it together.
All right, well, my name is Sam Gelfand.
I'm Gabe Fenster.
Thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast of North Broward basketball. On behalf of everyone here at the North Broward Preparatory School and everyone at the Florida High School Athletic Association, we hope that you have a very good night, wherever you may be.